Our Congressman, Adriano Espaillat here, who I know that he's very, very busy today and stopped by to say a few words to you. And I'm going to tell you this, during the pandemic, I used to get calls from Congressman Adriano Espaillat asking me, how are the banks doing? Are they lending? Who is the bank that you're working with? And so we would have conversations about that, and he would refer some of the small businesses in his district. And he has been a champion, really, at the federal level to make sure that our small businesses got the PPP, because as you know, at the beginning, there were some issues with that. So thank you so much, Congressman Adriano Espaillat, for doing that. And why don't you come up here and just briefly tell the audience what the federal is doing these days to advance our women.
Administrator, Marlene Throne is not just the SBA regional administrator, but she is an expert, a czar in economic development, because of course she did great work in the Bronx and continues to do great work. So I'm glad to see so many of you here, women, particularly young women that are involved in business. I'm happy to see Ponce did a great job during the pandemic. As you may remember, that the first phase of the PPP was held, by the traditional banks and the folks with lots of money. They rushed to the front of the line. I think some of them may have even skipped the line. And by the time you got there, we had to go to the second phase. So it was important that banks like local community banks were involved in this process to access, the dollars that the program was offering. Also, I would be remiss if I don't thank New York Presbyterian. Before all of that happened, they put $10 million on the table for small businesses. That wasn't everything, but it was something, and it was accessed by local community groups within their footprint, and I believe even the chamber was able to participate with that. So that was good, and of course we then have very specific pot of monies like the restaurant funding, right? Because restaurants are so fragile and so they work on a very tight profit margin, and some of them are seasonal in scope, right? And so they were shut down for so long, and then they had to open, they had to shut down again, and people have to wear a mask, and so they were really up and down. We're still fighting for more money for restaurants. We passed it in the House, and we're hopeful that the Senate will do the same thing. It's important that they and other businesses have access to money. So you have the PPP, you have also loans at very comfortable rates for a long time. And some folks take these loans and say, I don't know if we're going to be around when you're administrator, and then you have the EIDL program, which is sort of like a shot in the arm for people to get up and go. And so these are all very special programs, and you need to navigate them to access those dollars. And I'm glad that Ms. Throne is here, because she is committed to helping businesses like yourself. And she said it, that President Biden is committed to first and foremost help women-owned businesses, minority, black and brown businesses, those businesses that traditionally are marginated and left outside. So that's my goal as well. Real quickly on just four things. Infrastructure, right? I think infrastructure is so important to what you do. Broadband, access to broadband. You will not be able to get your business moving forward and be competitive unless you have state-of-the-art technology, and that includes 5G and other bells and whistles that will be provided through broadband. And finally, I want to share with you three of the major projects that I'm working with in the district. First, the Second Avenue subway, the second phase of the Second Avenue subway. That's a regional project, really, not just for uptown. It's a $7 billion project We have a training component through the Charles B. Rangel Institute for Transportation and Infrastructure, a city college, that will train young people to get access to prevailing wage jobs. I think it's going to revolutionize East Harlem and connect that neighborhood to the rest of the world. It's going to connect it to LaGuardia Airport via bus, water transportation both from the Hudson and the Harlem River, and of course it's going to connect it to other counties through the Metro North system, as far up as Connecticut. And so this is a regional project for our local neighborhood. The Kingsbridge Armory is the second project. It's back on the table again. The city will soon issue guidelines for it. But the Kingsbridge Armory project, I think, will be the impetus, the economic engine for the revival of the Bronx, in my opinion. And the West Bronx for sure. And then locally here, finally, the small businesses, and I'm working with the governor to have a full-fledged performing and cultural arts center for the Dominican community, because everybody else has it, right? And we should have one too. You have the Schomburg and the Apollo, and you have el Museo del Barrio, and you have why not? See, claro que sí, this is where we have to. So we're going to be working on that, and I hope that the elected officials are partners in that endeavor. God bless you and keep the faith. Thank you.